Hello. Um, Welcome. Just thought I'd chuck a quick vloggy out into the world. Catch up onto the progress. Ooh, age. Yeah. Ages, icy fingers come for us all. So, I showed you the drywall last time, and it's still there, still glorious. I've taped all the seams. See this like mesh tape? It's now ready to like mud or like plaster all of these seams, make it all smooth and nice. I've also I have like spray foamed. Spray foam. Any gaps. So the idea is that this wall here is going to be my barrier between this room and that room together from the rest of the house. So I'm only going to be heating these two rooms, the one I'm standing in and that one there. So it's important that I seal all of the gaps. There's still a few gaps at the bottom of that wall, but here I have sealed those around the outlets and switches, sealed around there. And I've also filled in the bottom with this piece of timber and spray foam. So this is nice and airtight. And then what I'm going to do, because there's obviously a big hole in the wall, this big hole, I'm going to have a big thick curtain on this side and another one on the other side to create like a kind of double curtain arrangement. And hopefully that holds in a decent amount of heat. And with my little space heater and maybe another one for the bedroom, should be okay. Man, the weather has just been freaky. The last video I did, there was snow everywhere. It was pretty cold, but the sun was shining. It was almost a foot of snow just over a week ago, and now it's all gone and the sun's shining. And it's just like, it's really warm. It's weird, man. This is like what they call fake spring, which is this kind of spring fake out. I mean, it's February. This is really weird. And it can be a big problem because it can trick fruiting trees into blossoming early. And then if they blossom early and then it goes back to being cold, they can lose all their blossoms and there goes your spring crop of fruits. So let's hope that doesn't happen. So that room, sealing it off. Now we're in the spare room, what's later going to be known as the study, but soon it's going to be my bedroom. So what I've done, you can see these are all the spots that I had to like make holes to get electrical through. So I had to make a hole everywhere that there's a fixture and everywhere that the wiring went, like the wiring went over that doorway. The plaster cracked badly over that doorway as well, so had to patch that up. But yeah, what I did was I kind of measured, because there was a big hole here, so I cut a piece of drywall that was big enough to cover the hole, and then I traced around that, and then I used a special cutty blade to cut nice straight lines in the plaster. And then my drywall patch sits in there nice and neatly. Screw it in where the screws are. That's where there's a stud behind, so it's held in there nice and firm. And then we've taped around the edges. It was a real thing, like getting the tape to stick to this old paintwork. It stuck in some places and not in some others. So what I've ended up doing is getting this kind of sugar soap stuff and just washing the crap out of these walls. And then around the edges of these patches, just to make doubly sure, I've used isopropyl alcohol to kind of wipe around the edges to make sure that the mesh tape gets good adhesion. So we're all ready to plaster in here as well. All the patches are patched and they're taped and it's looking real good. And once that is done, I'll probably put some baseboards or something down, mop the floors, all that stuff. So goal at the moment is to be in here in 2 weeks' time, which I think is pretty achievable. Technically, I could move in here now. I'd be crapping in a hole in the ground, but yeah. Oh, let's look at that. Here we are in the basement. Here we are in the basement. So another cool thing that I did today is I had my heater running because I've poured some cementitious material. So what I've done is, this is my base for the toilet. So this stuff here is self-leveling compound. It's kind of a polymerized cement product, and it flows like real good. It basically flows like it's got a really low viscosity, and it'll just find a perfect level. You've got to kind of move it around a little bit, but for the most part it just kind of flattens itself. So I made a little dam out of this rubber strip, which is adhesive, and used the rubber strip. You can kind of see it's rubbery. It's just weather stripping. And I got my toilet, so I used my toilet to trace the outline of where the toilet's going to sit. And then I used the adhesive stripping to form a little dam. And then I poured the self-leveling compound, and it should be set up in about 4 hours. So I won't be here then, but I'll come back and check it out maybe later tonight or tomorrow morning. So that's pretty cool. And here's my toilet that's going to go there. Nice brand new toilet. Took it out of the box so that I could trace the outline there. So that's pretty exciting. I'm going to have a toilet installed by tomorrow because this will be set up. You have to give this stuff 16 hours before you can put any weight on it. So yeah, that's tomorrow afternoon. Pretty good. Next step after that is to get my hot water unit in here. I've bought a hot water unit. I own a hot water unit. I just need to move it from its current location in Alex's basement and relocate it here. And I have to figure out the best spot for it. I think the best spot for it is going to be kind of here up against the chimney. With a hot water unit, you want it as close to your bathrooms as possible so that there's as short what they call a dead leg, which is the length of hot water pipe between your hot water unit and your fixtures, so that when you turn on the tap, you're not waiting ages for like a really long length of pipe to empty of cold water before you get delicious hot water. So if I put it here in this kind of inconspicuous location against the chimney, the bathrooms are like right here, so that would be pretty close to instant hot water, which would be great. It's pretty fancy hot water unit. It's a super high efficiency condensing tank, 50 gallon tank that heats and holds water at 180 degrees Fahrenheit, which is really hot. So it's 50 gallons of 180 degree water. Most hot water tanks hold water at 120 because that's like the safe temperature for domestic hot water. So this one has it's called a mixing valve on the outside. So it sends out the 180 degree water, mixes it with cold water, and then you get your 120 degree water out of your fixture. So that 180 degrees of water, like 50 gallons worth, once you dilute it by however much you need to dilute it, it could be like 25, 30, 50%, maybe even more, like in volume. So you could have a shower for an hour and be fine, not run out of hot water. So that's pretty cool. Looking forward to that. And what else? Oh yeah, I came in the other day and I was looking around, as you do, And I noticed here, underneath here, there was like all this water dripping. And in this location is kind of underneath the front door. You can kind of see that's the front door threshold. You can't really see. For the downstairs unit above there. And so I went up there and let's check it out. Oof. Oh, that was a rough portal. Need to tweak it. So you can kind of see on the ground. It's kind of where it's been wet. What had happened is a shitload of snow had. I put this after the fact just to kind of prevent that sort of thing. But let me move this. You can kind of see how gappy that is. There was a massive snowdrift in here because I hadn't been in this particular part of the building for a while, and so there was a massive pile of snow, and it was just slowly melting and dripping down through the floor. So I shoveled the snow from the inside of my house, which is not something you normally need to do in a normal house. And as soon as I replace this rather flimsy piece of plywood with a door, that won't be a problem. Speaking of which, there's the lovely door there. Yeah, that's one of the next things I need to do is put that door in. In order to achieve land bank compliance, I have to have all doors and windows in good repair, not boarded up with pieces of plywood. Because a big part of the land bank compliance thing is just presenting a good face to the community and having a building that, you know, looks functional. So I get it, and that's what I want as well. It's a pretty good system actually. It kind of makes you, it incentivizes doing the right thing by the street and your neighborhood, and kind of gets you off your ass, and I appreciate it. So I'm going to be working hard towards that stuff in the next 2 weeks, because I'm part of this community organizing, planning group here in this neighborhood, and they won a grant. They got a bunch of money to do a planning study for Ferry Park Road, which is not this one, that's Linwood. Ferry Park's kind of shooting away from us. See that big grey roof over there? That's Ferry Park. So anyway, they did a planning study. My battery's about to run out, so I'm going to cut this short. They did a planning study, and the third and final one, and they had identified a site for development to begin, because Ferry Park used to be a commercial corridor back in the day, and it's a little blight ridden now. I mean, all of Detroit is kind of pretty rough, but there are some areas that are coming back with a vengeance, like amazing, beautiful developments and a lot of street activity, and it's all kind of bougie and whatever, but it's quite the comeback story. So this neighborhood, Northwest Goldberg, being as it is so close to the city, is kind of prime. Like, we've got some really good things going for it. So they identified the corner of Linwood and Ferry Park, which is that intersection just behind this big brick building, as the catalyst site for this next round of development that's going to happen in this neighborhood. Basically, within like a quarter of a block from here, within a few years, there's going to be new townhomes, apartments, mixed-use building, farmers market, tool library, all these like potential crazy awesome things. So when that happens, like, prices here are just going to go bullshit. So before too many people catch wind of that stuff, I need to get this place compliant and secure my empty lots. And realistically, I think I'm within a month of being able to do that. I've got all the materials in place. I just need to put in the time to make it happen. I have to install a hot water unit, so I have to pay my plumber for a couple of hours of work. My toilet's almost in. That door downstairs that I just pointed out. And technically I should install like a baseboard heater or something, because one of the conditions is that I have to demonstrate that I've got central heating. I'm going to be doing hydronic heating, and I'm not going to do it all at once. But if I can get like a baseboard heater in, then that is technically a central heating system. So yeah, we're real close, real close. Still anxious, but quietly confident that I'll be able to get those vacant lots and then have a lot of fun with them. Want to grow food and plant trees and all sorts of cool stuff, and have this building and its kind of nearby land become a bit of a landmark in the area. And it's that Australian guy, he did all that cool stuff with that building. That's what I'm going to be, you know. So fingers crossed. Please send thoughts and prayers and good vibes towards that effort. And yeah, that's about it. Oh my god, I've been working a lot, pretty busy, feeling good. The sun's shining, spring's around the corner. Should get a vaccine in like, I don't know, a couple of years. Might be able to socialize again before I die. That'd be nice. Oh well. Still planning on coming back to Australia in November, so hold on to your hats, because that'll be a fun one. Anyway, I'll leave you with a lovely view of my living room, and peace out. Oh, shout out Jimmy, good to have you back on board. It's been a while. Yeah, I mean, I lost control of that old Instagram account, and God, that was a disaster. Basically, I needed my... it was just a giant, like, phone number fuck up thing. Anyway, shout out. Peace. Love you guys.